Hello and welcome to Jennifer Knatters, my knitting and personal video podcast. It has been almost 2 full weeks since I last recorded an episode, which isn't entirely true because I keep trying to record them and I get about 5 minutes and then it's 3 days later before I get a chance to do it again. So I start over and I record about 5 minutes and then it's 3 days later. I have not had a chance to do this. So here I am. It's Sunday the 23rd. Oh my goodness, how has that happened? Sunday the 23rd of December. Merry Christmas if you celebrate. Catherine's taking a nap. Christina is having a snack in the other room. Chris is there, so hopefully Christina Kitten is having a snack in the other room. Chris is there, so hopefully if she needs anything, she will ask him first. And hopefully I will get through this. My first finished object, as you may have noticed, is my Hillhead hat by Carrie Westerman. And this is in 2 shades of West Yorkshire Spinners Air Valley DK, which I believe is now their Air Valley Essential DK. I don't think anything changed except the name and the ball band. And this is just a really cute pattern. I plan on doing a bauble, but let's all take a moment to admire the crown decreases. It's nice and toasty warm because it's 2 layers deep. And I knit it very quickly. The pattern suggests 3 colors to have a contrast color for the brim and the bauble. I did not have a third color I like, so I did a 2-color one. I still have plenty of yarn left over, so if you're wondering if you can eke this out of some leftovers, sorry I've got an itchy eye, if you can eke this out of leftovers, you probably can. So yeah, I plan to make the bauble, it's not a priority. My next finished object is also West Yorkshire Spinners. This is their signature 4-ply in last year's Christmas color, the candy cane stripes. And then it's mint chocolate. That doesn't sound right, but it's something chocolate mint for the green and cayenne pepper for the red. Just did alternating ones. They're a good length for Christina. I think they will fit her, unless she grows a lot. I believe they will fit her next Christmas. No, they are a bit on the wide side, so they would fit over tights if she was wearing them, though she doesn't tend to do that, wear tights or wear socks over her tights when she does wear them. She has worn them once, so they're a little dirty, but they're very nice, and hopefully she'll get good use out of that. And the other one is a Top This Hat, which is a little kit. It comes with the yarn and then the bauble. And so Christina was getting mad at Catherine for wearing her cat one. So I made a snowflake one for Catherine. These kind of shades are more Catherine's colors. And it's got a little snowflake. And I figure anytime it's cold enough to need your bauble hat, snowflakes will be appropriate. And Christina freaked out that Catherine had a snowflake hat and she doesn't. I'm like, but you've got the cat hat. So I used the leftover yarn. I just had enough. I made this for Christina's doll, Dolores. I probably should have done another 2 rows, but I figure it fits as long as you don't move it. It tends to slide off. So maybe I can do a little strap under the chin with the little bit of yarn that's left over. So 2 hats, those were very quick. And then we're on to works in progress. The Isolde Teague was doing her Knitworthy, which tends to run, I'm trying to think how many patterns it is. It's a fair number of patterns, and it runs like November through to a couple weeks before Christmas. And they're all designed to be things that one could knit relatively quickly, that one could give to people who are worthy of knit gifts. And the final pattern, I didn't buy the collection until this one came out and I saw it. I've started with these sort of things waiting until I see all the patterns, and if I only like one pattern, I can just buy the one pattern. If I like two, then I tend to assume it's better to buy the whole collection. Because if you want a third pattern, like that's usually, excuse me, I'm going to cough for just a second. Sorry about that. I have a cold again, which will surprise no one. The line between 2 and 3 patterns tends to be where it's cheaper to buy the collection rather than buying individual patterns. And if I like 2, I tend to assume that at some point I may be looking at it and going, oh no, I really need that third one. But there are at least 3 patterns I would knit. So the last one came out was this, which are the Joy Mitts. And there were kits for these. So I ordered one and knit them up really quickly. The Joy Mitts all have a pride flag on them, so they're all pride colors. And the kits are made up for either a straight rainbow, not a straight rainbow, a gay rainbow, but a regular rainbow. This one is the bi flag. There's one for trans, which was modeled. The modeled ones are all a lighter gray, which Isolde Teague sold out of, so she made up kits in the medium gray. And the trans one shows up better because of the white stripe in the middle of the flag. It actually shows up better on these medium gray. But I went and I bought a kit for these because I think they're so cute. And they've got a little fold over cuff, so if you're walking around outside you can kind of pull it up over your fingers, and then if you need to do things with your hands you can fold them down. I finished this, but I haven't woven in any of the ends yet, and when I do I should be able to make the flag look a little neater. And they're lovely and scrumptious. The yarn is Roma Fennel Point 2. I believe, I know what country this is from, and now I can't, 100% Norse wool, so Norwegian. Anyway, I finished the first one and I've started my second one. You can see there's lots of little ends for my rainbow here. And then the kit came with just 3 little balls for the color. And Chris saw my one finished mitt and said, those are gorgeous. I love them. I want to pair as well. And I was like, oh, well, let me show you the other colors. The kits come in, or I can order. The kit for this was £10 for the ball and then the minis. And I was like, well, we can either the rainbow kit or the trans kit or the lighter gray so that we'd be able to tell them apart easily, or we could do, he really likes the gradient, which I love that gradient. And he was like, no, I really want the bi one, the blue to purple to pink gradient. I'm like, we could do it, if it's the gradient you like, we could do like a yellow blue or a blue yellow green, or sorry, blue green yellow, or I could do the colors the other way. Even turned it over. I'm like, look, you can see it go the other way, but he wants them pretty much exactly the same. So I've ordered a kit, but Isolde Teague's website, her shop is closed through Christmas, through the 7th of January. So I told him I would make him a pair for Christmas. And now, if you'll pardon me, I need to cough again. I'm sorry about that. The talking is what's making me cough so much. This cold kind of just came on the last couple of days and has, as so many of them have, been kicking my butt. Anyway, my next work in progress, I have one vivid square. Let's see if you can see the lace on that a little better. One vivid square for making a blanket. This was knit on 3.5 millimeter needles, and I find it's just a little too flimsy. I worry the threads will break, that it's not really going to be quite what I want it to be. I'm making this, so I'm planning on doing the rest on 3.0 millimeter needles, which is what I'm using for my mitts. So I need to finish those first, and then I'll be able to keep working on this. And I'm making this with my advent calendar yarn. Here's bag 1, and they're all in these cute little snowflake ones. They've got a tag that's either red, white, or green. And then they have these little mini balls. This is what's left for the sea foam on this one. The color is marble gem. They've all got their little little labels, and usually they have a ticky to say which. Yes, they've got a ticky to say which yarn. So I got the kit, and then I ordered 2 balls. This is the JC Rennie and Co. Super soft 4-ply 100% lamb's wool. Well, that's good enough. But I do think this, my first one, is just stretched out a little thinner than I want it to be. It'll probably be okay. I don't think I need to frog this one. I think I'll just, you know, smush it in, and it might be a little bobbled a bit in the rest of the blanket. We'll see. I'll knit the rest, and then if I need to, I can always redo this one. But there's just lots of neat colors. See, white tag. I've stopped opening them and looking to see what colors they will be, because I figure that can be a surprise for later. I've been watching, these are from Wee County Yarns, Claire of Wee County Yarns, which is over, it's the Wee County, which is over towards Aberdeen. And I've been following like her on Instagram and the thing, so I see they came with a pattern to knit a colorwork shawl, and she's been posting updates of the scarf, colorwork scarf, and she's been posting pictures of her progress on hers, so I've seen the colors and stuff, but it'll still be a surprise. And I figure this way I'll just get a wide variety of colors that I might not necessarily have bought myself and make a kind of a quilt. If there's any colors I really don't like, I won't use them. I will save them for other colorwork projects, because mini balls of this kind of suitable for Fair Isle, but it is so, I mean, it really is just very soft. They are not kidding about the super soft part. So hopefully this might be something that I just spend the rest of eternity working on. I figure every so often I can sew some squares together, and then having like a little lap blanket and then a slightly bigger lap blanket. And I hope eventually to have one that could go on the bed, if not my king size bed, then at least to cover a portion of the king size bed. And I have it in this cute little project bag, which I actually got from the little shop, the little pop-up charity shop when we went to see Santa. And seeing Santa was, it was fine, except we took the picture, and the elf taking the picture looked at it and went, "Wow, that's a really nice picture, first take." And I'm like, "Oh, great, really nice picture, first take." So she printed it out, and I said, "Could you print out a second one for my mother?" And then I went and I paid for it, and Catherine broke some tchotchkes, and we left and we went home. And it was only when we got home that I looked at the pictures, and I'm the only one who looks good. I'm the only one who's looking at the camera and smiling. Catherine's looking at the camera and kind of just like, which is fine. She's not yet quite 2, so that's about the best expression you can hope for. But Christina looks like she's giving Santa the side eye. She's looking that way, and she just has this expression like, and Santa's not looking at the camera. I don't know. Possibly the elf does not have the best vision, but it is what it is. It's certainly not something where I'm going to go back and be like, yeah, let's retake these. Although if it was an easier process, I might. But I looked at them and I'm like, really? She looked at that and said, this is a really good picture. I didn't look at it at the time because I figured I'd look at it and be like, oh, I don't look good, which is what most people tend to say when they see a picture of themselves. But I figured, everybody else would look fine, and it turns out I'm the only one smiling at the camera. I haven't posted my mother's one to her yet. I've got that one, and I've got Christina's kitten's school picture. I'm really not doing a good job remembering to call her Kitten. She didn't ask me to call her Kitten on the video or anything. She just said she'd like her nickname to be Kitten, so I'm trying to practice calling her Kitten. But she gets really happy when I do too. I've got her school picture, and I've got the Christmas picture that I was going to send, and I haven't posted them yet. So clearly that will not get out in time for Christmas. I did try to get a picture of Catherine at her playgroup. They had a photographer come, and Catherine was all for it and really excited. And then I plunked her down in the area to have her picture taken, and she burst into tears and was clinging to me and just like, no. So we did not get her picture taken. Oh well, it happens. I think I've only got one studio picture of Christina, like one proper photographer picture of Christina from when she was under 2 years, and we went to visit my mother in California over that summer, and we went to JCPenney, to their photography studio, and did all the three of us and my mother, and I brought a little Jack-in-the-Box toy, and I would crank the Jack-in-the-Box toy, and Kitten would look towards it. So we have a few pictures. I do, when we go on holiday, if we do any of the things where they take your picture and then sell it to you for more money than you should probably spend on just a random snapshot, we do tend to buy those souvenir pictures, because we don't have a lot of pictures of us as a family, and even if we have weird expressions, it's a picture of us as a family. So yeah, I'm trying to remember what all in 2 weeks and 2 years, it feels like it. What all I haven't said. I haven't been knitting a lot. Last weekend, I had a tummy bug last weekend and just felt absolutely like I'd been run over by a truck. There was one day where I literally did not touch my knitting at all, and most of the other days I haven't done more than just the tiniest bit. And I suppose that's, speaking of knitting the tiniest bit, I have actually made a little bit of progress on my Brunsfield vest. This is another Isolde Teague pattern. So yeah, my little stitch, my progress keeper is here. I've done another one of those. When I get to the top of this repeat, which I'm really close to doing, then I'm going to split for the neckline and the armholes. So I did actually work on this one night in the last, or 2 nights in the last 2 weeks. Catherine has not been sleeping well, which I figure is at least partially because she's had these various colds. I really want to stop her from waking up repeatedly in the night to nurse. She does not need to wake up 3 or 4 times at night to nurse. She was sleeping through the night at least 2 nights out of 3, and then she got all of her molars and her canines from the summer on, and she's had some really bad colds, so it's made sense that she was waking up more. But she's feeling better again. We need to stop this, because I need to sleep through the night occasionally, eventually. Or even just know that when she finally does go to sleep, she's not been going to sleep early. What we were doing was I was taking her into the room with her pad, and she could watch some videos, have some quiet time, starting at like 8 o'clock, bring her into the room so that Christina can have an easy bedtime, because Christina doesn't want to go to bed unless Catherine's already asleep. Now that they're sleeping in different rooms, if I at least have Catherine in the bedroom, we're doing quieter things, Christina then can do her homework without interference. Chris can put her to bed. She's been going to bed really well for Chris. But Catherine has not been going to sleep. She just won't. And so everybody will tell you that screen time doesn't let you sleep. So I've been letting her stay up a little longer and play, and then take her into the room without the pad, and she is still not going to sleep. Excuse me. So, like, I came out here one night in the dark to try to do the video, to try to record this after she'd gone to sleep, and I didn't even get out here until 10:30. It was 9 degrees in here. It was really cold. I had my hat on and a blanket over me, and I can't have the heat running because it's a fan heater, so it's noisy. And I recorded 7 minutes, 7 minutes, and then she woke up, so I had to go back and cuddle her. And she should be sleeping through the night better. I know with Christina, I really felt that it was, once I told her we weren't, like, she could wake up as many times as she wanted, but we weren't going to nurse, she stopped waking up. And there was 1 week when she woke up 2 or 3 times, and I'd be like, well, we've already nursed, now we just cuddle. And after that, she stopped waking up. If she did her little partially awake, she'd just roll over and go back to sleep. And I need to do that with Catherine. I tried last night. She was, even when she did come to nurse, she was all over the place, feet up on the headboard, wiggling all over, biting, not on purpose biting, but just, you know, tugging and holding on with her teeth. And so we got to 10 o'clock and I'm like, we're done. You just fell off. We're done. I'm putting them away. It's sleepy time now. And she cried off and on for an hour asking to nurse. I was like, no, we're done. I told you we're done. You were not behaving nicely. I'm sore. It hurts. We need to just go to sleep. And then she was also asking for other things, like to get up and brush her teeth. And she even found a nappy in the bed and tried to convince me to go change her nappy and all sorts of things she was trying to do to not have to go to sleep. And I'm like, no, it's sleepy time. It's sleepy time. And she did cry for an hour. And then when she woke up in the night, I was like, no, I've already nursed. And so there was lots more crying. And so I let her nurse, which I shouldn't do. That's the part I need to just be like, I'm sorry. One thing at a time. We'll stop nursing at 10. And sorry, I heard some footsteps. I was just wondering if they were going to come interfere. So yeah, I guess we're mostly ready for Christmas. We've got stuff. The problem for us is that the birthdays, everyone's birthday but mine is in January. So you have to get Christmas stuff and not give too much stuff for Christmas and not too much stuff for birthdays, and save some stuff for birthdays if you find there's too much, and try to have a balance of stuff. I was reading, since Kitten is almost 6, I was reading the 6-year-old book, Your 6-Year-Old, Loving and Defiant. I think Ames is the name. I tweeted about it, and it is basically a who's who of every behavior problem we've had with Christina, like since she started school, with Kitten, since she started school. Anything goes wrong is my fault, which is the shift from the mom being the center of a child's universe to the child being the center of the child's universe. It's definitely a rocky transition. Everything is the mom's fault, which is so true. And they're super competitive. They have to be first. They have to have the biggest. They have to win. They will cheat to win. They will change the rules to win. If you win anyway, they will accuse you of cheating. Also, like, I was reading Bits to Chris, and I'm like, they could have written this about, she could have been their case study. Although one of the funniest things, it's a little dated. It's not even, when I say it's not even that old, I don't think it was even written when I was a kid, and I'm 37, so it's not even that old, but in some ways it really reads like it came from the 1950s or something. But they were, the book says, like, what is appropriate for developmentally for a 6-year-old's birthday party, and they suggested live turtles as a suitable party gift for all the guests. Like a little live turtle would be an appropriate gift. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, what? A goldfish maybe, but a live turtle? No, that's not. Like, how would you react if your kid came home with a pet turtle? I'd love it. I'd be like, brilliant, except then you have to go buy a terrarium and all sorts of stuff. But a live turtle. So if anyone's wondering what is an appropriate gift to give a 6-year-old, apparently a live turtle. So yeah, that was the suggestion. Activities, you should bundle all the kids, you should feed them lunch and then bundle all the kids into 2 cars and drive them to a zoo. And I'm like, well, that'd be swell. Our zoo's pretty far away. There was this list of like various things, one of which was a zoo, but we don't drive, and for a 2-hour party, I'm not sure you could go to something like a zoo for. So you feed them lunch, figure that's half an hour. Assume a 15-minute drive to get to the zoo. An hour at the zoo, 15-minute drive home. Well, they did say drop the kids off on the way home, so I guess you don't have to get home and then have them all collected again. And give them turtles. This is a wonderful party. I wish I went to more parties like that. Yeah. The other big news through Christina's school, which never even got a blog post on their school blog, is that chickenpox absolutely just went through the lower grades. In Christina's class, there had been 2 kids out on the Thursday, 7 kids out on the Friday, 9 kids out on the Monday. That was one of the Mondays when I couldn't record because Christina had her the P1, P2 nativity, which was the sleepy shepherd. So it was all about one of the shepherds who then goes to, well, one of the Bethlehem shepherds who goes to meet the baby Jesus. It was a really cute one. All the P1s were angels, and then the P2s were either shepherds or the speaking parts. And I'm told at the morning one, some of the people with speaking parts were up there holding scripts because the people who were supposed to have that speaking part were out with chickenpox. And the nursery playground looked really empty. There weren't a lot of kids there. And then 2 weeks later, kind of the Friday before school got out, we have a chat group for the parents of the P1s, and they were saying that some of the siblings of the P1s now had it. One of the kids one of the P1s who hadn't had chickenpox had it. So it was definitely the second wave was starting. And one of my American Twitterers was like, 9 kids out, that's a huge number for this day and age. Well, they don't vaccinate for chickenpox in the UK. You can pay for it privately and get the vaccination, but I don't know how much that costs. And there were parents and they're like, oh, I've never had chickenpox. I'm like, get the vaccination. Everyone says chickenpox as an adult is excruciating. Oh, well, it's probably too late. I'm like, but what if it isn't? What if you could right now be getting the vaccination instead of getting chickenpox? Oh, it's really expensive. I'm like, how expensive? Are we talking 100 pounds? 100 pounds is expensive. It is less expensive than being in excruciating pain for 2 to 3 weeks. So yeah, I don't always understand other people's priorities. I guess you figure it's not actually going to happen. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. We went to the winter solstice, which turned out to be more of a carnival thing. I thought it was lots of like statues with lights and light shining on the trees, and they did have stuff like that, but that was kind of tucked over to one side, and then most of it was carnival rides, and I hadn't brought the kind of money you take if you're going to be doing carnival rides, which is to say particularly any money at all. I had 10 quid and then like 5 quid in coins on me, and there is no ATM, no hole in the wall, no cash point over where they had it. It's next to the leisure center and the floral hall, and there's no way to get money out there. So there's no way to be like, oh, well, I'd like more money to spend at this thing. I think in the US, if you go to something like that, they'd have a truck that'd be running on a generator that would have a cash point in it. And I don't know if that's just not a thing in the UK or just not a thing they do here in Inverness, but I don't know. Not an efficient way to part people from their money. or at least have a booth selling tickets where you can pay with a card. You can buy so many tickets with your card and then divvy up the money later among the people who have the tickets. Who knows? Kitten, never gonna get this straight. Kitten did go on the big trampolines with the harnesses, and she absolutely loved it. That was her favorite thing. She was smiling so big. I wasn't sure if she was screaming. She was laughing so hard. And it was pouring down. Well, not pouring down. It was raining fairly steadily, but we had on all of our winter gear, so we didn't really notice. I kept taking videos of the rain going through the lights going by. And she was jumping on the trampoline, and she kept saying she wanted to go back on it, but the trampoline cost £5, and when you only show up with £15, like, she'd done a few rides and she'd gotten a little spinny light thing, and that was the money. And she wasn't interested in going and looking at the light sculptures versus, I think if that's all there was, she would have been more interested in it. But she really wanted to do all the rides and everything, and I was like, I don't have money. We spent the money I have. So yeah. Catherine, Christina. So yeah, we're on holiday. And I don't know if I will be able to do a video again before school starts up in January, simply because trying to do a video when Catherine was asleep wasn't even working out with all the stuff we had going into Christmas, extra stuff at school and parties and this and that and the other thing. But now that I've got both of them, even if Catherine's taking a nap, Kitten will want me to be entertaining her, or at least supervising her. She tends to say, but who will take care of me if you go take a shower? Like, if I'm the only one home and I go take a shower, who will take care of me? Like, what care do you need for 5 minutes while I'm in the shower? Come sit in the bathroom with me while I do that. So yeah, probably won't have time to do another video. I will try. We'll see how it goes. And if not, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. Hanukkah's already over, I believe. I don't know anything about Kwanzaa other than its name. But yeah, happy holidays, and I will talk to you again hopefully next week, and if not, when I can.